For centuries, humans have been dreaming of flight. Other animals could do it, so why not humans? The first attempts at flight were often a basic glider made out of bamboo and cloth. Over time, the glider got a little more advanced and controllable. Back then, the idea of flight consisted of jumping off a cliff with a glider on your back. These early attempts often ended up in injury or even death. Some of the early flights were also very humorous. The first airplane was invented by Wilbur and Oliver Wright of Dayton, Idaho. The first airplane was a glider. It flew about 4 miles south of Kitty Hawk, North Carolina. On their best flight of the day, Wilbur covers 852 feet over the ground in only 59 seconds. In 1905, they introduced the Flyer, the world's first practical airplane. By 1906, the first biplane was introduced. It could go farther than the glider because it had a propeller. The propeller was a major improvement in the entire history of flight. The propeller helped the airplane take off and keep going for a long time. The biplane was a good source of transportation for less than 3 people going a long distance. The propeller was a great achievement in the history of the airplane. Once World War I started, they developed the propeller. The propeller helped the plane to take off, fly for a certain distance, and then land. But there was one downside. It could only carry so much fuel. It could keep going for about 1 hour. The propeller still had a longer flight than all planes at its time, though. The propeller had another good use. It could carry heavy cargo, very heavy cargo. The plane was used as a source of transportation, and they could also be used as a cargo plane. Just like UPS, today people rely on planes to get packages and to get to a certain place. Stage 4, World War I. Once World War I started, planes were key for fighting and bombing. Once the Battle of Britain started, the British invented radar. When the war was over, planes were more popular because of all the use of planes in the war. Many people owned planes. Planes were a very efficient way of transportation. Now, not many people own planes. People usually rely on big airliners like Air Canada to get around. Stage 5, the jet engine. Once the jet engine was invented, planes could go faster than the speed of sound. Jet engines are extremely fast, which highly increases the danger of flying. Once World War II broke out, jet engines were a very useful tool. People could get around very fast. In fact, the next stage is entirely about that. Stage 6, jet airliners. The plane was a key way of transportation, so why not start a business of flying planes to get people around? That's how the idea of the jet airliner came about. The first airliner service was in Great Britain, the privilege of the wealthy. Once the idea spread, people started taking planes everywhere. Some people even bought their own planes and hired a pilot. In 1980, the first float plane was invented. It could take off from water and land on it too. Today that isn't such of a big deal, but in the 1980s it was amazing. Airplanes have come a long way since the first glider took off. Today airplanes are used as transportation, parcel delivery, and even in the military. So what is the future of this amazing invention? Keep watching and you'll find out. A faster and safer plane might be flying in our skies in under 100 years. It's going to be whale-shaped. It will fit over 700 passengers and will be the safest plane in the world at its time.